Today in election news. The Guardian Council, which is the body responsible for vetting qualifications of nominees standing for the country's elections, announced today that it had approved the 4 main candidates for the June 12th presidential election. The 4, which include President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and former Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousavi, were approved out of 475 men and women who registered as prospective candidates for the election. The Interior Minister Sadeq Mahsuli announced today that in a letter to the state election headquarters, the 12-member Guardian Council had approved nominees Mir Hossein Mousavi Khameneh, Mehdi Karroubi, Mohsen Rezai Mirqaed, and Mahmoud Ahmadinejad as the final candidates to stand for the presidential election. Mahsuli also told reporters that with the naming of the candidates, the election campaign began officially today and will continue until 8 a.m. local time on June 11th. Despite an earlier announcement that based on a new definition of the term Rejal, the Guardian Council would also be considering women as prospective candidates, none of the 42 women who had registered to stand were approved. The qualifications of independent nominees such as Akbar Alami and Kazem Sholeh Saadi were also rejected by the Guardian Council. Presidential candidate Mehdi Karroubi voiced his objections today to the Voice and Vision's inclination to, quote, denigrate candidates standing for the 10th presidential election. In an open letter to Izzatullah Zarqami, the head of the Voice and Vision organization of the Islamic Republic, Karroubi wrote, quote, I advise you to stop indulging in malicious approaches, and if you do not have a role in this, do increase your supervision of program series so as to avoid such sagas as the series of programs entitled Identity Against Intellectuals, which was a cultural disaster and about which the head of Voice and Vision at the time said he was completely unaware. Meanwhile, Zahra Ranavard, author and wife of Mir Hossein Mousavi, said yesterday that, quote, Mir Hossein Mousavi, Mehdi Karroubi, and Mohsen Rezai get on well with each other, adding, quote, the only troublemaker is the Voice and Vision, which should feel ashamed for using the public fund for its own personal purposes. The Voice and Vision must also apologize to the nation. Ali Reza Zakani, a deputy in the 8th Majlis, said last night at the opening ceremonies of the Office of the Followers of the Islamic Revolution Party that Expediency Council Secretary Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani manages the camp to negate Ahmadinejad. Zakani said that among the various political alignments in Iran, one alignment seeks to negate Ahmadinejad, and that this movement has placed misrepresentation on its agenda and seeks to make promises so that it can gain votes. According to the Fars news agency, he then went on to say, quote, Hashemi Rafsanjani gives directions to this movement, and the basis for this movement is saying no to Ahmadinejad. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.